Hello and welcome, as it is the 28th day of February 2018. And as I've been stating with ZCL, gap fill, and well, I didn't think it would do anything like this so quickly. Within this video, everything is your own risk, own reward. And the price action of ZCL, which is currently retracing 2/3 of its value at this point, it was down even more. It's doubled. Better than such from its lows a few minutes ago, as big volume comes in, and there was even some decent volume yesterday on the market beforehand. But we'll take a look at this on a shorter term time frame. We'll say the 30-minute, and we can see how it just happened all at one time in one moment. If we take a look at this on the 1 minute time frame and scroll to the event, this is how it looks. So if this is how the market was moving before it fell, everything seemed very normal. Then all of a sudden, a huge red candle move, bringing it down from 86 to 69. And then that huge candle looked like a much smaller one. As we can see, the price in here was at 122. So it's now done better than double, and just from that bottom. So wild volatility, why somebody's selling and how it can be done with just this little amount of volume. There'd be a lot of buy orders that would have to have been filled. How? I don't know any more of the answers to it. I don't own it. I haven't bought any of it. I didn't have any buy orders in for this. It is very difficult to place a lot of buy orders, as it costs Bitcoin to do so, because once you put a buy order, then you can't use that Bitcoin until you cancel that buy order. But it's well, I mean, I look at it at this stage now, it's not a bad buy in the sense that, okay, it's at a key 38.2% down fib. You could look to flip it even at the 57 handle. And that could possibly be the next play, because now the question comes from here. What's most likely next to occur? A move up to the 57.2 handle, or we move this back to the daily chart, maybe a price move that's down to about 75. This was a 23.6% down. This is 38, and this is the 61. Let's move on to some other codes, because a bunch of cool, or not cool, but a lot of big things are happening in the markets. This is XVC Vcash, and just a big downtrend that it's been in since January. A lot of the altcoins do not have bullish looks by any means at this current point. THC in at 1001. Well, that means I'm in, because I think this code THC wants to get really, really high. Right now, it's sobering up a bit after it got really, really high the last time at the start of the year. Bitbean, I'm in this one as well. It came down to a key Fibonacci point and at around 163. SLS, Salus, or Salus. What happens about Fibonacci when we see what this is doing here? Ooh, it's not supporting it. Is it going to pierce a large amount extra? It's possible. Is it going to find resistance here? That's now what we're looking for rather than support. Or are we going to have a fast move down to the next handle of the 257? If that's the case, it should reach that either today or tomorrow. And of course, the reason is because I'd expect a fast move to the next key level. That's why it would be either today or tomorrow. Redcoin is setting up a very interesting failed move, fast move down, or it's having its correctionary test. Nice move on the decline side, going from 188 and just a normal correction to 70. Just do normal stuff. And then it has a beautiful rally up to over 100. But first it came to 107, back to the 18 highs, barely extending the gain, but noticeably so. And now it is on its fourth declining noticeable red candle down day, higher than this point, about a 61.8% retracement. Let me just check to see what that 61 down number is, and it is in at 81 Satoshi, with 95 representing the next one. So let's take a look at those two numbers on, say, a shorter term time frame. The 95 number, which really was no support whatsoever in here, and has been, of course, making it down to this level. So another situation where you come down to a key level, you don't support it, okay, fast move to the next one is what you are expecting. This is CANN, and in most cases with the cryptocurrency markets, that they will go up a lot faster than they go down. The amount of time that it took to go from 592 to its high was about 4 days, and of course all that time so far bringing it back. This one, like THC, also it has a lot of fun. It likes to get really high too. And another quick update on ZCL on the 1 minute time frame, as it's now down to the 27 handle, as I don't know what to expect. There's fundamental news is always going to play out, and it's bringing a lot of volatility. And let's move on to some of the codes that are actually been doing good recently, as this is one of the top winners for the day, and it's not much. It's only up about 15%. Price action yesterday was down to this third time hit Fibonacci level, and now it's at a second time hit 18 average of highs, and third time deep into the 18 average, as this came relatively close on the 9th of February. So support has been built very, very strong, and as is this resistance area field at about 118 that it is approaching. And will it find a resistance out? You would think a pierce above this handle, but the next resistance mark moving north is in at 143. And this has got a good long-term view, I think, as far as my memory is concerned. Let me just expand the time frame a little bit. We will go from the 1 day to the 3 day. And this is just small Fibonacci of this move to this move. So when you see that, okay, there's a lot of more highs and lows. It's made this low in 2015, a double hit low 2016, early 2017, and then one low here, low here, low here. And now it's making whatever the next low happens to be. So the Fibonacci that I want to calculate next is from this low. What I do to take a look at which number is best is go back in time to then and see that area, and it obviously had a lot of support, roughly at around, I'll say 2000. So 2000 is the support, and the resistance is in at about, or they have 0055. So that would be 550,000, or a 100x gain. Rather over 200, because the low is 2,000. And this 146 handle, which is the upper Fibonacci point, represents a 23.6% move from the low to the high. And obviously right now that level has given in. So therefore, if this level doesn't hold, I'd be looking for the more longer term 38.2% down correction. And that's in at 63,000 and change, which coincides with the March lows, or highs rather, of last year. And it also coincides with its previous level of support. And now when I look at this even further, if price action doesn't go there, and where we come from, or where we if we rally, and we're going to have to rally from here if it doesn't go there, then that should be what I would consider a good chance of having a fast move. And I'm just going on the Fibonacci analysis that if you find support at a key level like this, you have a quick little-ish kind of move, but not that much below it, and you regain it. I look at that as like failed breakdown kind of venture. So it wouldn't surprise me in this case if it were to go up to this move, and most likely it would have to do so relatively quick, that it has a very good chance of having a fast move up to the 48, or within the year just have a beautiful pattern of higher highs and higher lows that break the resistance from last year. And that's only again because of the fact that this is not that much of long-term support right now where we're at. Now let's look at CRW, which broke down below this support the day after the 20th of February, the 21st rather, and it stayed there for almost a week. And on today's session, it has broken back above to its previous key area, meeting up with the 18 average of highs. It has newly started to decline. So as far as the stages of reversal, uptrend, going sideways in here, that's band flattening out. This is I need a good move below to establish support. See, this is kind of, I mean, it barely went below the band, and you can see why something like this I would rather look towards. And now it has come back to the band. So I am fully on this one expecting the failed move, fast move situation if continuation to the upside occurs, especially because of how big of a move it has had so far to get to this point. After just like a little bit of diddling around for about 1 week's time. When we look at this more long term, we'll say now go to a 3-day chart. And Crown has been in a good uptrend. From what I can remember, there it is for a lot of, well, it was for last year. It has held and stayed above. It's really in this range now for the most part. It had a very choppy move from this low to the high, back down, back up. Even this little bit in here, back up. Choppy down, choppy up, choppy down, choppy up, and it's just not really doing either. So in this stage, it's just been going sideways. So therefore, again, big moves should follow either way. And when I talk about that failed move, fast move, getting out above this, that's where you probably see one of those decent sized types of green candles as price actions in the early stages above the 38,000, if it does so quickly, and then probably meet up and find some resistance somewhere around some of these previous highs. If, of course, that's the case, but when I look again at the daily time frame, it does seem as if the failed move, fast move might be in its play right now. Okay, so now let's just take a look at a couple more before ending this video. XEM, New Economic Movement, has just been in a decent downtrend as the amount of moves from high to low, well, there's over a 10x gain at the end of last year, and the retracement has been quite decent. This 5,000 line is a little above where the 38.2% correction would be. So now we're looking at moving down to the 61.8. 29.46 would be that number, and if it pierced extra, I would think maybe even make it closer to 25 to 26 as a potential. We look at this even more long term. First on the weekly chart, which is just showing the extreme amount of volatility that this has. At least when I use my example of the bulls and the bears, as far as two teams playing like a chess match or some sort of game where each takes turns and passes the dice when they're done, because the bulls on the weekly term time frame last year from the start of the year all the way to the end of or middle of May did this damage on their turn. Then the bears from the middle of May down to the early part of July had a pretty okay turn. And then a short but not so productive turn took the bulls up to 66. And the bears went all the way to the bottom. The bulls all the way to the top. And now the bears have been playing their turn. No sign yet that they're going to pass the dice. So now when I look at the Fibonacci again and I I know I can put in the high at about 13,550, but what's the low going to be? So I'm going to go back in time, get rid of all this data, and see that around this point we have a low of 27, 26, and 25. So let's go with the all-time lows of 25 and calculate some Fibonacci this way. But I also want to be clear that I might want to also do it from a low of both 294 and the 25. And both of those time frames suggest 3,000 to be a very, very big level. But when it comes down to it, this 3,000 is merely a retest of this previous low, and the retest can go down quite significantly lower, especially with this major volatility that these markets have. So that's all part of the roller coaster. They have monstrous moves down, then monstrous moves up. So after this down move that's in a monstrous format, it's gonna either have to go to nothing or have a monstrous move up. And even if it does go to nothing, you might get 2, 3, 4, 5 more amazing moves up before it does. All right then, so thank you for tuning in. Again, like always, everything's your own risk, own reward. I'm just going over the analysis as I see it. Take care. Bye-bye.